Well, hey, my Edmore brothers, back again. I don't know how long this one will be. Hopefully, it's not too long. But if I get to rambling, forgive me. Okay. And this is a shout out to Dr. Johnson because he's the one that hips me to the proxy violence. Now, proxy violence is really part of a matriarchy for the most part. You see it in patriarchies, like you go back in history, especially with miscegenation laws and Jim Crow, where a black man could be lynched on the word of a white woman, and they could burn down a black town on the word of a white woman, which is white proxy violence. But it's really done a lot more in the black community, where black men can be killed on the word of a woman, or to defend a woman's honor or sensibility, right? It's very well known, very well established. The black goon that's either boyfriend, husband, or even for the matriarch, a nephew or a son. Very, very common. Very, very common. Happens all the time, right? But I want to introduce another feature that happened in the 80s that I saw, that I'd had several women try to pull me into, right? It's not proxy violence, but proxy drug dealing. How many women actually went to jail for drug dealing? Very few. But if you notice, they were very involved in drug dealing. Sometimes they held the drugs, sometimes they drove the car, they took the money. But the thing is, it always happens that the man would always take the rap, go to jail, or get killed. Very few women got killed because of drug dealing. But in the 80s, when drugs really started to make a whole lot of money, really quickly, when the crack era happened, women flocked to it. They liked the lifestyle, they liked the disposable cash, they liked the freedom, they liked the looseness of the morals, right? Because drug dealers were unhinged and uninhibited because they had the money. So they party all the time, they would drink all the time, they have sex all the time, because they had this disposable cash, and the hours that they worked were pretty, if they're successful, was pretty limited, okay? So they had plenty of off time. They had very loose schedules. They weren't 9-to-5 guys. And women actually flocked to that, of all classes actually flocked to that. And it became such a moneymaker. Women saw it as fast cash and a fast way to get a lifestyle that they wanted. So they would actually recruit men that they thought are either smart or tough or capable to actually go out and deal drugs for them. I can't tell you how many women that I knew, back as boomers, or even some Gen Xers, right, would attach themselves to one of these kind of guys that dealt drugs. I mean, you hear it all the time in this space, right? Former women that dated drug dealers. That's proxy, because they really wanted to deal drugs. They really wanted to be kingpins. They really wanted the money and the lifestyle. Okay, they even liked some of the violence that was attached to it. The thing is, they didn't want to get hurt. They didn't want to get shot. And they didn't want to go to prison behind it. So that's one reason why women are actually grew to be drawn to thugs and drug dealers, because they saw it as a way to make money. They saw it as a way to get quick resources. Even now, if you ask black women, especially young black women, what kind of guy do they want to date? A 9-to-5 guy, educated lame that's got a good corporate job, or a scammer, or a drug dealer? Why they always pick scammers and drug dealers? Okay, even though the window's very short, the lifestyle and the window for a drug dealer or a scammer is pretty short, because he's probably going to prison within at least 2 to 4 years, because most of them, or 3 to 5. If they're good at it, at some point they're going to go to prison, right? But those 2 to 5 years, or 2 to 4 years, they can the woman can get a car, they can get a house, because the drug dealer can't buy the house and the car in his name. Got to put in his woman's name, right? If there's going to be excess money that he can't account for, it's got to go in his woman's name. So that woman becomes a proxy for that lifestyle, becomes a proxy for that excitement, because they hobnob with a lot of people. And I used to listen to the women describe the lifestyle, the way they would go to eat, the trips they would make, the nightlife, because if you're a drug dealer, up at night, so it's a lot of nightlife. So these men become a proxy, become an entree to that lifestyle. And the women would never have to pay the penalty for it. You never see the girlfriend go to prison or go to jail or go to anything when it went down. They would always let her go. And she would always turn state's evidence on her man or her boyfriend. He'd go to prison. She might have a baby for him, but she uses his money and his resources to fund her next venture. Now, she may go into business, she may do this, that, or the other, or she may go out and replace him with another drug dealer, which is most likely. A lot of lower class women that are pretty and had a baby, they just, one drug dealer go to jail, and then they just pick up another guy with that kind of flash cash and resources. So I just wanted to kind of do a spin on this proxy violence, this proxy goon. The thug is a proxy for another kind of lifestyle. Now, the thug could actually be the tatted thug that was actually going to commit violence on her behalf because she's running her mouth and either excite or scare other women, or he could actually be a scammer doing something illicit that's going to get her benefits. So she's willing to do it. Can't tell you how many women are willing to do it because it is an exciting life for them. Well, I can tell. I got a best friend that's done bid, and he had a very square wife for the most part, 9 to 5, but she stuck with him because it's entree into that kind of lifestyle. It is a fast life, nice cars, nice house, fast life, a lot of trips, all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of entree into that side if you can get the right kind of guy. Okay, but hey, here's what it is. But I just want to put a spin on it, especially for you, Dr. Jason, spin on proxy violence for you. Tell me what you think. You might think I'm full of shit, which I might be, but it is something that came to me. Just want to drop a quick note. Sometimes you gotta expand the space and expand these ideas. With that, it's not too bad. It's going to be fairly short, about 6-7 minutes. So I'm out. Peace.